How's it going? Today I'm going to be talking about how this work speaks to me by myself, Ian Chamberlain. Let's get started. I'm going to be talking a little bit first about my worldview and then my theological worldview. For my real worldview, I learned from playing chess with my grandfather that you are not only told in chess, but to live life by looking 2 steps ahead, which I do, and I listen to my grandfather. But I'm also a firm believer in focusing on one day at a time and just waking up and putting one foot in front of the other. I think it's very easy to, and a lot of people do this, where they dwell on the past of a bad test grade or focus on the future of some dance coming up and they don't have a date. And they lose a lot of precious time with friends and loved ones by doing that. And just good memories by just dwelling on things that you can no longer control. And some ways that I really help myself by focusing on that is finding a moment of kindness and hope in the present. I try and focus on, once again, like I said, what you can control. When you get that bad test grade, instead of sitting in your room all day anxious and tearing yourself apart, which I know a lot of people do, going to go talk to your teacher. And if you're being proactive, a lot of times the teacher will be really kind and they're like, hey, work on this, I'll help you out. And in the end, in the long run, normally something said like grades have a way of figuring themselves out if you just keep putting a lot of effort towards it. And that's a way that you can find relief in the moment instead of dwelling on that grade, being proactive and just focusing on the present. And finally, I was taught in sports and in Sunday school to lean on your neighbor, lean on your friend. I'm a really big guy with honesty. I think real friends are ones that know you, and it takes both sides to lean on each other. I think no one can go through the world alone, and no one is alone in what they're dealing with. And I think it's a really big part of living my life. Now, this slide, of course, is a little bit more brief. I love to believe in a higher power in God, and I was raised by my mom to think so. I practice a little bit of a quieter faith, so I'm not as strong in my beliefs, but I do like to believe of a higher power. Text follows my worldviews way more impactfully than my theological views, in all honesty. The children are constantly facing challenges that hit them instantly. They have no idea that they're destined to rule, but rather end up finding their purpose from following what's in front of them. And that really follows how I think about one day at a time. They find kindness all along the road of this story. Mr. Thomas' kindness and the Beaver's hospitality. It really shows that hope isn't in the distance. It's little pieces along the way. Now, I can relate this to many other films or writings that show this and that I learned from growing up. But I'm not going to get distracted. The children also throughout the whole book are learning from each other. And I would go as far as to say that if you dig into Edmund's betrayal, it shows that it was punishment for acting alone. And he gets redemption from apologizing and then leaning on his siblings. Just teaching the fundamental of leaning on each other and being honest and forgiveness. Finally, how can this be a tool? In my opinion, and this is one that's different from others, I fully believe that this can be a tool for anyone. It strengthens all my convictions, and with my limited faith, it sometimes gives me a new light in my theological world. But that doesn't mean it had to. Anyone reading this book and writing can take away something that brings light to their world, and that's what makes Lewis's work so amazing. He found a way to, in a dark time, give a fun story for kids that increases them incredible values in a time of sin, distracting them from the world around them, but yet also provide an opening to religion in a time where scientific reasoning was taking the world by storm. And I think that's the most powerful thing about this is, unlike Dante's Inferno, which is an incredible work that really focuses on the parallels and its focus on religion, I feel as if this piece of work can really be used for fundamental values along with a religion.